Hello and welcome back to the Marathon HSC podcast, the podcast dedicated to senior high school students undertaking the HSC. I'm your host, Sarah, and this is episode 7 of season 1, the English series on the common module Texts and Human Experiences. This one has been a long time in the making, but here we are. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the fourth of many common module texts, and the last of our prose fiction texts. Remember, prose fiction being your narrative type stories. And it's Amanda Lohrey's Vertigo. We'll be looking into everything you'll need to craft your common module notes, from values to themes, context, characters, and so much more. But most importantly, keep your ears ready to catch the insightful gems I'll be sharing to help you with your common module Vertigo essays. So, let's dive into this text. Context. As always, we need to take a deep dive into the social and cultural, historical, political, and economical, and the personal context of the author. Social cultural context. Written during the early 2000s, Vertigo reflects the Australian society's culture at the time, capturing how the country moved into the new 21st century by reflecting on its culture and redefining itself. As such, there were discussions about the country's history of colonisation and efforts to establish a unique identity worldwide. In the early 2000s, people also became more aware of environmental problems and how human actions affect nature. Environmental concerns gained prominence globally during this time, with Vertigo echoing the rising awareness of ecological issues like climate change and environmental degradation, reflecting the evolving societal consciousness. Historical, political, and economic context. A few different points on display here. The novel is shaped by major historical events of the late 20th century, like the end of the Cold War, globalisation, and the rise of the internet. In the early 2000s, Australia's focus on its Indigenous history and reconciliation efforts became more prominent. Although not directly discussed in the novel, it's important to note the nation's talk about Indigenous rights and historical injustices as setting the context for the book. The early 2000s were marked by technological advancements, shaping how people communicated, worked, and perceived the world. The novel engages with the impact of technology on human relationships and the evolving dynamics of communication, providing insights into the societal changes brought about by the digital age. On the political front, the 2000s saw Australia confronting its role on the global stage, particularly as a US ally. Though not explicitly political, Vertigo mirrors national discussions on Australia's foreign policy and identity during this period of scrutiny. Personal context of the author. Amanda Lohrey, an Australian author born in 1947, brings rich personal experiences to Vertigo. Her deep connection to Australia's diverse landscapes, from urban to rural to coastal, likely influenced the vivid settings in the novel. Lohrey's engagement with social and political issues, evident in her other works, adds depth to Vertigo. As a female writer, she may offer unique perspectives on gender dynamics, enhancing the novel's portrayal of characters navigating societal expectations. Traditional values. Okay, let's head off now into exploring traditional values. So we've got a couple of these, let's get into them. Number 1, personal freedom. Vertigo explores the theme of personal freedom in the context of societal pressures, depicting the quest for personal freedom as a central theme, as characters navigate between creating their own paths and adhering to established norms. Characters within the narrative embody the Australian spirit of independence, seeking personal freedom not only as a right, but as a fundamental aspect of their identity. Number 2, self-discovery. The narrative highlights that self-discovery is multifaceted, influenced by personal encounters, connections, and cultural shifts. Traditional values of self-reflection and authenticity permeate the character stories. Number 3, the pursuit of happiness. The novel challenges conventional ideas about happiness, prompting characters and readers to reflect on what it means to live a fulfilling life. This theme evolves throughout the story, echoing broader discussions about the well-being and personal satisfaction in society. Number 4, tension with societal norms. The novel delves into the conflict between traditional values and societal norms, showing how the quest for personal freedom clashes with established expectations. This conflict drives character development, highlighting the struggle between individual desires and collective standards. Themes and concepts explored. So there are 4 main themes that are explored, or ideas that we can delve into. So number 1, being individualism versus society, where Vertigo explores the conflict between individual desires and societal norms, challenging characters to reconcile their personal paths with social expectations. The novel delves into the complexities of autonomy and the impact of social constructs on individual lives. It raises questions about the cost of conformity and the journey of asserting one's individuality within society. Characters grapple with the balance between personal agency and collective influence, each decision reflecting a nuanced exploration of autonomy and societal pressure. The second of our themes is nature and the environment. The Australian landscape isn't just a backdrop here, it's a dynamic character in the story, reflecting the characters' inner journeys. In Vertigo, nature isn't just physical, it's a metaphorical space where characters confront fears, gain clarity, and connect with themselves and others. Number 3, identity and self-discovery. Central to the story, characters embark on transformative journeys of self-discovery. The novel explores a range of identities beyond societal norms, inviting readers to ponder the complexities of authenticity in a changing world. Number 4, ecological responsibility. The novel also highlights characters' awareness of ecological responsibility amidst the Australian landscape, prompting reflections on humanity's relationship with nature and ethical considerations regarding the environment. Characters' interactions with nature raise questions about sustainability, conservation, and human impact on the environment, contributing to a broader conversation about collective responsibility towards the planet. So, Vertigo not only explores individualism versus societal norms, but also delves into nature's influence, identity complexities, and ethical considerations regarding our environment. These themes enrich the novel, offering readers a multidimensional exploration of the human experience. Purpose of the author. Alright, let's speedrun this one. Lohrey wanted readers to contemplate societal constraints. She urged readers to use their critical thinking skills and to question the paths set out by society so that they can think about what they truly are set out to do. And she sure did want to make a huge comment on the Australian identity and culture, addressing multiculturalism and tradition versus progress. But I do want you to also think, why else would Amanda Lohrey have wanted to write a book like this? Impact on the audience. So this, of course, was a very thought-provoking narrative. Vertigo captivates readers with its deep and intricate storyline, sparking profound reflection on human experiences and relationships. Its thought-provoking nature lingers with readers beyond the final page. Her text also acted as a catalyst for introspection, where it prompts readers to reflect on their own lives, choices, and relationships through the characters' journeys. Vertigo leaves a lasting impact on readers, who revisit the novel to discover new insights with each reading. Now, before we get into the most important points from Lohrey's Vertigo, I want to share with you a word from our amazing sponsors for our podcasts. Sponsors help us reach our goal of keeping education free for you all to access on the go, meaning you guys can all continue listening here without subscriptions, which is my utmost priority with the Marathon HSC podcast. Now, if you haven't already heard of Notion, it's the perfect tool to help you build your organization from the ground up. It's got an integrated calendar to keep all your crazy busy schedules in one place, and multiple tabs in areas where you can keep all your assignments organized so you can tick them all off and keep track of them, which is how I personally like to use Notion. Plus, there are hundreds of videos out there teaching you how to set yourself up for success using Notion. If this sounds like as much of a catch to you as it does to myself, head to our Instagram page at MarathonHSC and click on the link in my bio, where you'll be taken to our link tree so you can sign up for some blazing productivity benefits with Notion. Moving on. Key insights. All right, you 12 students, listen carefully. This is an important part that I want you to take note of. These can be used as your thesis statements that help shape the paragraphs of your essays. Okay, so for our first theme, complexity of personal freedom, here's a thesis statement for you. True autonomy lies in making choices that align with personal values and navigating human connections thoughtfully, rather than seeking complete freedom from constraints. For number 2, interconnectedness of human experience and nature, a thesis statement that would sit well is, our identity is shaped by the landscapes we encounter, highlighting the deep connection between human experiences and the environment. Number 3, navigating moral dilemmas. Personal freedom isn't just about choices. It involves grappling with moral dilemmas and considering ethical implications. Number 4, balancing autonomy and interdependence. Freedom requires balance. Autonomy is about both self-discovery and the connections we have with others. Number 5, nature as a reflective space. Nature reflects our inner selves. If we take a look around us, we can see a mirror of our internal state of mind, or at least a space we can use as an outlet for our emotions. Number 6, environmental impact on identity. Our identity evolves with our surroundings. It's a dance between our inner selves and the world around us. Understanding ourselves means understanding our environment. Number 7, embracing complexity in relationships. Navigating personal freedom means embracing human connections, their joys and struggles. Number 8, the illusion of control. Personal freedom isn't about controlling everything, but rather about finding liberation in accepting life's natural ups and downs. Number 9, narratives of resilience. Personal freedom is not just about overcoming obstacles, but also about the resilience to bounce back from setbacks. Number 10, questioning societal expectations. True personal freedom often means breaking away from societal expectations. Number 11, revelations in solitude. Personal freedom is often discovered in the quiet moments of self-reflection, where individuals confront their deepest truths away from the noise of external distraction. Number 12, echoes of personal choices. Personal freedom isn't just individual, but influences the collective human experience. Number 13, and last of all, the temporal nature of identity. Freedom isn't fixed, but it is an ongoing journey of self-discovery. You can find all of these insights on our Marathon HSC website. Just head to Marathon HSC, type that up in Google, and you should be good to go. And yeah, I'll put these all up on our website for you so that you can go back and reflect on them. And finally, textual integrity. Vertigo captivates with its seamless blend of big themes like personal freedom, interconnectedness, and societal expectations. Amanda Lohrey's characters are vivid and deep, and her portrayal of the Aussie landscape feels alive, shaping the characters' emotions and experiences. Lohrey paints the story with emotions and psychology, keeping readers hooked with well-paced tension and reflection. The novel's natural flow and rhythm, along with its exploration of big ideas and genuine characters, make Vertigo a truly immersive reading experience. As always, I want you guys to think about the reasons why a text would transcend time, i.e., why is it that we still read texts like this today? No, it's not just because they're put in a syllabus. It's for a greater reason. Something along the lines of, maybe it's because they explore human experiences that we truly just can't get rid of. Alrighty, character analysis of the characters in Vertigo, let's go. Our main protagonist is Anna Worley. Anna Worley is Luke's wife, and she battles feelings of weakness, despondency, and jealousy in the city, which intensify as the story progresses. Anna illustrates the impact of societal pressures and the toll of comparison, delving into themes of identity, dissatisfaction, and the search for fulfillment amidst external pressures. Our secondary protagonist is Luke Worley, who's Anna's husband and Ken's son, who witnesses Anna's decline and makes the decision to move, driving the narrative forward. Luke demonstrates the complexities of relationships and the lengths people go to support loved ones, prompting reflection on sacrifices made for others' well-being. Next, we have the symbolic character, the boy, who is a ghostly child seen by Luke and Anna that symbolizes Anna's unborn child and represents themes of loss, grief, and unfulfilled potential. The boy reveals the lasting impact of loss and coping mechanisms for grief, emphasizing life's fragility and the effects of unrealized dreams. Ken, Luke's father. Ken Worley, Luke's father, brings a cynical perspective that contrasts with Luke's optimism about moving. Their generational conflict adds depth to the story, and Ken illustrates the clash of different perspectives on change, prompting exploration of family dynamics and reconciling differing worldviews. We also have Jill, who's a neighbour and friend. Gilbert Riley, or Jill, is an elderly widower and neighbour who quickly befriends Luke and Anna after their move, becoming a significant figure in their new life. Jill underscores the importance of community and human connection, highlighting the role of supportive relationships during life's transitions. In Vertigo, each character contributes to themes like identity, loss, relationships, and the pursuit of happiness. Through their stories and interactions, they collectively enrich the narrative, offering insights into the complexities of the human experience. Now, what I ask of you guys is that you put all of this information into your own little note set. You can also find note sets on our website at Marathon HSC, but it would be really good if you could put all of this research into a notes document for you to come back to. And that wraps up our journey with Vertigo. Amanda Lohrey weaves a narrative that goes beyond individual stories, offering a reflection on societal norms, personal freedom, and the intricate dance between human experiences and the natural world. And that's it from me for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, we're on all social media platforms at Marathon HSC. So give us a follow to see some of our podcast highlights and to see explanations to short answer questions, questions about HSC, and everything under that umbrella. If you liked what you heard in today's episode, click that follow button so you can be notified about upcoming episodes. Remember, Marathon HSC is here to save you in all your subjects. And with the common module texts underway, we'll be moving on to some other subjects too. Last of all, be sure to let me know if you have any questions about what we've covered today in the Q&A box attached to this podcast episode, and I'd be happy to discuss them in the very next episode. This is Sarah from the Marathon HSC podcast, and I will see you all back here in our next episode.